Hey, this is Speedball Mike Bailey. You can watch me every Thursday night on Access TV for Impact Wrestling. You're listening to the Battleground Podcast.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back into the Pro Wrestling Podcast from iHeartRadio, the official wrestling podcast. We're calling this the Battleground Podcast. I don't know why we say we're calling this the Battleground Podcast. We know that this is the Battleground Podcast. Of course, every week we sit down with some of the biggest names in the business. We talk to everybody, and today is a big one for us because every time we've asked this company, hey, can we get so-and-so on the show? Can we get so-and-so? They always tell us, no, he's too busy. He doesn't have time for you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my tag team partner, Eli, who is joining us on the show in 3, 2, 1. There he is. You good, bud? Oh, no, we have no sound. So we're going to, I guess we're going to have to just pause for a second. Do we have anything? Speedball Mike Bailey joins the show with a much cooler background than us. Uh-oh, I don't have any sound.
No, I'm joking. My audio.
I was like, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. I started to panic. I was like, oh, crap. Like, this is a new setup. What is happening? But, Mike, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I mean, you're in space. How's it feeling up there right now?
Very loose. I feel very light. I'm not even sitting on a chair. I'm just floating.
Really?
I've got the it's all attached to me, the mic and everything. My laptop is on a space desk in front of me.
Man,
I'm just floating.
I gotta figure out how I can get into space with Mike Bailey. I mean, you're out here floating in space, you're making headlines all around the world. And let's talk about it real quick. I mean, you debuted with Impact Wrestling last year, had one of the best year ones in the company's history. I mean, what has surprised you the most about being in the States and working shows here full time now?
Man, you say it's just over a year that I debuted with Impact, and that sounds absolutely crazy to me. I'm beyond space and time. Honestly, I feel like I was able to cram in an entire career's worth of wrestling in Impact since 2022. It's been going fast, and it's been a lot, and it's been fantastic. I have been busy, which is all I could ask for out of professional wrestling, and it's been fantastic.
I mean, you've every time we've seen you doing something, you take it even a step further every match that you do. And we're just like, how is he going to top that last match? And then we tune in the next one, like, how's he going to top that one? Like, you just go balls to the wall, and you how do you do that?
So you're absolutely correct. If you ask me, like, what is your greatest accomplishment, right, in life and in professional wrestling, is the same answer, is that I've been able to outdo myself in every year, in every match. And I feel like that's been very, very true for my professional wrestling career. I cannot point to a time before now where I was as good or better. I mean, continuous improvement is what you should want out of life, what you should seek. I think, this is me getting philosophical here for a second, but I think the way you achieve that is mindfulness. I think driving is a good example of that. I think it's very possible for a human being to drive an hour every day, 30-minute to and back from work, and still be terrible at it. Right? And the way that happens is people don't care. If you don't care, if you just do something completely mindlessly and kind of just zone out as you go
through the motion every day.
Correct. But if you pay attention to every single thing, every single detail, if you watch your matches back and you carefully listen to the audience and feel out your opponent and remember what it was like to what you did before the match and everything, and try to control and understand all those valuables, then you end up getting better. And I think that sounds incredibly simple. It's the most complex thing in the world, but it's been working out pretty well, and I would recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, for sure. And, we were lucky enough to be at Slammiversary back in 2022 to see you become the new X Division champ by defeating Ace Austin, Alex Zane, Andrew Everett, Kenny King, Trey Miguel in an Ultimate X match. I mean, when you think about it, with so many legends having held that belt, especially with the original one behind me, what did that accomplishment mean to you in your career?
That was the perfect scenario. I could not have dreamt up a better scenario in which to become the X Division champion than an Ultimate X match at the 20-year Slammiversary. I mean, it's very validating in a lot of ways. Of course, I've been watching the X Division since its inception. It's
Hmm.
the kind of wrestling that I like. It's the kind of wrestling that I wanted to do, that I've always wanted to do since I was a small child. It's the kind of wrestling that I want to show the world and that I think is the most appealing. So becoming X Division champion meant that I became part of that legacy, and
Yeah.
was going to be forever within the same group of guys as AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Chris Sabin, Christopher Daniels, and Frankie Kazarian. And we were gonna be in that elite fraternity of X Division champions.
Yeah, for sure. And you talk about X Division champions and AJ Styles. It's kind of crazy because like I was there the night that AJ Styles won his X Division title, and of course getting to be there watching you win it. And you can laugh at this photo, and I show this a lot, but this is the photo of the night that AJ Styles won the X Division title, and I won some contest to go backstage. But here's me and AJ Styles with him in the duck face.
Wow. What
Yeah,
year is this?
that was years ago at the Asylum at the fairgrounds.
Wow.
And so, like, went backstage for that, and it was kind of a cool moment. But I mean, like you said, you put your name in history with the who's, like you said, Sabin and Samoa Joe and AJ. So you got to think that that's like a cool thing to say when you hang the boots up, your name is up there right next to theirs.
It absolutely is, and it forever will be.
Yeah, and it's awesome. And speaking of other X Division champions, we got a chance to talk to former champion Josh Alexander, who said, and this is what he said on our show. Your signing with Impact was one of the biggest gets in the company history. And you guys would go on to have an incredible 5-star, almost 1 hour match for the Impact World Championship late last year. Looking back, what are your thoughts on that match, and where do you think it ranks in your personal best of list?
I think it's really, really hard to tell. I think it's very close to number one, especially given how recently it's happened. And I think, I if you ask me a favorite match, it's typically something very recent
Mm-hmm.
because again, continual progress. But no, Josh Alexander is definitely one of the main reasons that I signed with Impact Wrestling. I mean, I signed my contract literally on his back after.
Really?
Oh yeah, so the story was there was a match between me and him at Destiny Wrestling in Canada that was attended by Scott D'Amore, and what had been promised was if I won the match I would get a Impact Wrestling contract. And I lost the match to Josh Alexander, but Scott D'Amore still made that contract offer right then and there in the ring, and I signed it literally on Josh Alexander's back. But Josh and I go way, way back. We had our first match together in, I want to say, probably around 2010 or 11 or something. And we've had
Mm-hmm.
many, many big matches together. And that the 60 minutes that we had in Impact definitely just feels like part of the story to me. And it feels like there is much, much more to come between Josh Alexander and myself.
Oh, we are looking forward to that. I mean, because you two tore the house down in a nearly 1 hour match, and you talk about your career, and the great thing that we love about Impact is you're not just tied down to Impact. You're able to travel the world and work other indie shows, and recently, as a result, you won the PWG Battle of Los Angeles earlier this year. Let me ask you this: how important is it for you to continue to showcase your talents on the indies while representing that Impact brand?
It absolutely is. I think the kind of talent that is at Impact Wrestling only benefits more from the more eyes can possibly get on it. And I mean, uh, it's a mutually beneficial relationship between Impact Wrestling and myself. And they give me an awesome platform in which to showcase my skills. And I get to go around the world and show them what Impact is all about. I'll be doing that in the Best of Super Juniors tournament coming up too in Japan. And I think that is the best possible opportunity to showcase Impact Wrestling, and again the X division, because it's that junior heavyweight style of wrestling that is going to be absolutely highlighted in one of the craziest tournaments in all of professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'm very fortunate to represent something as positive as the ideas behind Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, and I just want to know, are you a psychic? Because are you thinking about what our next question was going to be? Because it was literally about the Super Juniors tournament and you representing Impact in there. So I'm assuming you're a psychic, right?
Well, no, come on, it's on everyone's lips. It's what
It
everyone's been talking about. However, I am a little bit psychic, which comes from the space. You know,
right.
you can hear more than just words over in the section of space that I am. You can hear ideas and kind of feel minds and thoughts.
Yeah, for sure. And so, okay, I want to talk about that real quick. Like the big connection, Impact New Japan. I mean, you again talking about it recently announced for the New Japan Best of Super Juniors 30 tournament. What are you looking forward to the most in that upcoming event?
I am looking forward to wrestling in front of the Japanese audience once again. I don't think there is anywhere in the world where an audience watches shows taking in as much detail and appreciating all the intricacies quite like it is in Japan. And I think that's why Japanese wrestling is so good. I think New Japan is the best promotion in all of Japan. And so I think the audience is incredibly appreciative of that and seeks to understand the wrestling that is happening to the level that the performers are doing it. And so I think that's always been really special to me, is the
Yeah.
connection with those Japanese audiences.
Yeah, and you can always tell that they really get into the audience, and it's great to see, or the match, because it's great to see now that they're allowing them to be more vocal during the matches, and they're allowed to cheer now. And I know that that's going to be a fun feeling when you walk out and you're rah for Speedball. Um, Talking about Impact real quick, we've got a new Impact World Champion in Steve Macklin. Um, what do you, Speedball Mike Bailey, what do you have to do to get back into that world title picture?
Well, I think step one is going to be to win the Best of Super Juniors tournament.
Mhm.
I mean, I think that's if I can win that and make a huge statement by doing so. But I'm not, I'm looking at Steve Macklin, of course I am, but I'm also looking at the X Division Championship scene. We've got a big match between Trey Miguel and Chris Sabin coming up at Under Siege, and I like to keep my options open. I like to pay attention, and I will land wherever I fit best.
And I think that world title picture around your waist, having the Impact World title, that would be good. I know Nick Aldis is going after Steve Macklin, but I mean, you've been there, you know
Well,
Steve more.
so my goal is both. I want to be both the X Division and World Champion at the same time. Maybe
And
Tag Team Champion as well, but that's what I'm gunning for.
I don't think anybody's ever done that before, having all the titles at once, right?
Right? I'm a shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. And I mean that figuratively because I'm literally in space, as we've established before. Uh, but yeah, no, I want to achieve big things, and I don't think it has been done before, and I would love to be the first one to do it. I mean, winning the X Division champion in an Ultimate X match at the 20th Slammiversary seemed absolutely impossible as well, yet I did it. So
Mm-hmm. And we have this thing on this show, and this is going to be good for you because when you come on the show, everybody that comes on goes on to win the title. This happened for Trey Miguel when he didn't have the X Division title. He came on, didn't have the title, went on to win it. Matt Cardona came on the show, went on to win the NWA championship. PCO, same thing. So, I mean, the stars, no pun intended with your background, though, those that are watching on YouTube right now, are aligning right now. You come on the show, you're going to go to win gold, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to be the X Division, or it's going to be the world champion, or hell, it's going to be all of them. And I think it's going to be all of them.
well, thank you so much for having me. Then I'll make sure to come back here often.
Yes, and make sure, because here's the thing though, if you come back with the title, I will let you know that people that come on the show that have the title go on to lose the title. So once you get the title, we'll stay away for a little
That's it.
bit.
Yeah.
We'll stay away for a little bit. But we'll make sure that you come back on right before a big title shot so you can get that title. And we're in May right now. What does the rest of I guess 2023 look like for you, other than the big tournament that's coming up?
Somehow my schedule gets crazier and crazier. I've got a lot of fun things coming up. I mean, Impact Wrestling has been on a hell of a hot streak,
Mm-hmm.
selling out bigger and bigger venues and doing more and more awesome things. So, I mean, I don't even know. I have no idea. I could not have imagined 6 months ago that I would be going to Japan to do Best of Super Juniors, and then I would get to come back to Impact. But man, yeah, I'll be in Japan for the next 2 weeks, so that's all that's on my mind right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be fun. We're rooting for you to win that tournament because again, it's the good luck charm. You come on here, you go on to win stuff. So we're looking to see you winning that tournament next in a couple of weeks. And Mike, it's been an honor to have you on the show. I know you're a busy man. You got to do some space traveling and you got to go save the galaxy. Speaking of galaxy, have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy yet? The new one?
I absolutely have not. No.
Okay, I'm in the same boat. So then I can't really talk to you about it then because I can't ask you, what'd you think of the new movie if you haven't seen it? So, Mike, it's an honor to have you on the show, man. Thanks for taking the time out and hanging out with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.